What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be diving back into an old friend. This is a title called Undying, and it's a title you've seen on the channel before. This is a game about a mother who is bit by zombies in the prologue of the game and must train her son to survive in the post-apocalypse before she expires from that malady. We've played this game a couple of times in the past. I found it enjoyable each and every single time. I have had some critiques along the way, and I continue to have those critiques, but we're revisiting the game now, specifically because it is in 1.0. This is a finalized project. This is a done product, and so we won't be covering it again after now. That's a little bit sad, always a little bit bittersweet when we get to these parts of covering games, but it's important to put that final coverage up there because the coverage actually, I've played this game for about 3.5 hours to 4 hours prior to the recording of this video, and this game has changed a ton since the last time I played it. And so if there ever was a time for us to come back in and recover the game, now would be it. So we're going to dive on in for about 30 minutes, see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on along the way. I'll be trying to do my best to provide you with a qualitative appraisal of the game and whether or not I like it, I do not like it, whether or not I recommend it. You can find a link to the game down below in the description. On top of that, you can also find a link down there to my Discord and my Twitch stream. There will be a VOD of this game. I'm going to start a fresh playthrough using the knowledge that I know. Probably today, actually. After I get done recording this, I'm probably going to wipe the save and start over on stream because I've been wanting to play this game for a while, and I've learned some things on this playthrough that the metagame knowledge thereof is actually kind of important for another run, almost in a bit of a this war of mine kind of way. But let's dive on in. What am I doing right now? Well, I'm scavenging a supermarket. This is a new location. I've never seen this location. And one of the big things that has struck me about this game, as I've started out playing it for the first time since March, which I think was the last time we covered the game, they've added a lot of things to this. This was a very back-heavy early access, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, I played this game in March. We recorded this game in March, and there were systems in play there that are no longer in existence. They've completely reconfigured the entire game to function differently than it did, and it all works great. Normally, I would say that something on the 5-yard line like that, rearranging a game right before release, would probably be a bad idea. But given the fact that it happened so smoothly, I'm guessing they planned for it to happen that way, where they would roll out the features or whatever, and it would all be within the final release. But I'm at a supermarket. This is a new location. I've never seen this before. There is a certain sort of exasperation, I think, when you do what I do for a living in playing. You guys don't see this because you're not behind the camera, like you aren't responsible for recording or whatever else. I put my kid in a tracksuit for this reason right here. It's just hilarious to watch my kid in a tracksuit break open people's luggage with a crowbar like he works for the TSA and rifle through their valuables. He does it with cars and stuff too. Has me dying, dude. If we're not passing down the knowledge of how to flock doors and how to rob people to our children, what are we even doing in the post-apocalypse? That's just called good, solid mothering right there. They gots to learn somehow. But as I was saying, you guys don't see behind the curtain. Frequently when I record these videos, there's a very, very solid chance that I will end up playing the first hour of a game 5 or 6 times before the final footage is recorded. So I see a lot of this stuff over and over and over again. And so sometimes there's a little bit of a dread with games that I've covered before that I've got to play through that opening sequence again if the saves didn't make it or if I can't remember what I was doing or what I was working on, which is probably far more likely. I've got to play through that section again. That has not happened this time around with Undying because they completely redid the beginning portion of the game. It's much more sandboxy and open world now than it used to be. The last time we covered the game, you start out in your house and the world was sort of linear. You could walk in between zones to the next zone over, and they were sort of interconnected. Now, no longer. If you remember the map from a game called Sheltered, it's kind of like that now. There's a grid map, and you have a car, and you can drive around in between locations, and there's like random procedural locations, and there's places that you can interact with. Kid, don't get eaten by the giant zombie over here. Grab my hand, come over here, come over here. We gotta kite this guy around in circles like a merry-go-round. There we go. Come over here, come over here, come over here. I gotta line up strong swings on him. If you're wondering what I'm trying to line up, if you take a look at the top of the screen, I hold down right click, and when I hold down right click, it fills up a little targeting meter. And if I fill that little targeting meter up all the way, I get a lot more damage and I got a lot more bang for my buck out of my hits, which makes my durability go further. It also has a solid chance of staggering the enemy and making them fall over. And so there's a little bit of tactics to the combat. If I had to say, I think combat is probably the weakest part of this game. It's okay, though, because the little annoyances that exist with the combat system being a little bit too primitive for what it wants to be, the rest of the game and the theme and the atmosphere and the storytelling, I think, carries. For me personally, this is one of the very few games in years that kind of grabbed me as much as this War of Mine did, where I was curious to see what would happen to the next character. I was curious to see what would happen to my villagers, you know, like, I wanted to know more about their backstory. Can I get you to come over here? Sometimes you can hit these guys through barricades. I always carry multiple baseball bats. I learned that lesson the hard way, is that the weapons in this game have, like, comically low durability, especially if you're not using strong power attacks. And so what I learned is carry multiple weapons with you. I keep 3 on me at all times, just in case, because you never know. Kid, this is not where you want to be right now. You're a little bit in the way. I'm kind of tripping over you right now. Ain't that just like a child, though, huh? Ain't it just like a child? I went to a Christmas party a few days ago with all my nephews and nieces running rampant all over the place. And, man, there is always a child underfoot. You've got to watch where you're going, man. There's like a little 2-year-old or a 3-year-old always just like right around ankle level no matter what you're doing. And they don't tell you this about 8-year-olds to like 2-year-olds to 8-year-olds, but they're real easy to step on. Like, your feet are real big compared to how little they are, man. They don't give you the warning. We've got one more door back here. We've got to be home by midnight. I've got to bash this open, though, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And we've got to account for transit time to get off this map in order to get back home, because in this game, the zombie virus only overtakes you if you have insomnia. I don't know. It's just a gamification, all right? If we stay up past midnight, we become a zombie, we die. Cody, get the door. Flock that thing, boy. What was that noise? What are you doing? Is anyone living out there? Just flock the door, man. Are you picking the lock? Stop it. Just do it. Oh, my God. Please stop. I can only rely on this lock to protect myself from danger. Yeah, but, like, I want what's back in there.
It's getting dark.
Are there survivors outside? Yeah, who? Are you trapped in there? Yeah, there's zombies outside and I can't go out. Since you can make it out there, can you help me clear the zombies in the supermarket? I don't have enough weapons and I'm afraid to go out. I'll repay you. All right, I think I got them all. It seems they've all been cleared. Thank you. Wait a moment and I'll open the door. Okay, I was just going to flock the door, but, like, that's fine. I guess, does it really count as flocking, though, if you use a crowbar? Typically, flocking is a hammer and a flathead when you're trying to get a door open. So what's up with you, Crocodile Dundee? Hello. Thank goodness, a living person. Wait, Ann Ling? Sean, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. I thought everybody died when the subway tunnel collapsed. I'm glad to see you. After I managed to escape from the tunnel, I wandered around aimlessly until I found this place. Then I decided to settle down. It's relatively safe here, although occasionally some people claiming to be from the Ironback gang come through here for supplies. But I overheard something really important. Overheard? What did you hear? I heard the thugs talking about, well, you're not going to believe this, but they mentioned an antidote. There's a cure for the virus that's turning people into monsters. You mean an antiviral drug? Yeah, that's right. They said it was developed in a factory not far from here in the direction of the north. That's all I heard, though. It's great news, isn't it? If that stuff's really in the work, we can go back to normal life. The factory. Yeah, there's so many factories in the direction of north that I have no idea which one they were talking about. You seem kind of anxious, but you don't need it, right? That's right, I don't need it. Are you trapped here? Yeah, it's been like a nightmare. I thought I was safe when I got here, but the zombie hordes had already spread to this area. I ran into the office while I was gathering food, and I've been trapped here ever since. There's too many zombies outside. I don't even have a weapon. You don't have a weapon? No, I got nothing. I can't even leave the room. It's too dangerous out there. I got food for today, but it's also running out. It'd be great to go outside right now, even just to get some fresh air. You seem pretty capable at surviving. Can you bring me a gun? I can give you something in exchange. All right, if I come across a gun, I'll bring it to you. I already have a gun, but that's my gun. He can't have that gun. I'm going to take some of your stuff, okay? Ooh, an energy drink. Nice. There are little spaces that Cody can enter. I don't have the flashlight yet, though. So it looks like he can go in there and find things. Cody, how's it going in there? Everything is safe. We can explore it now. Okay. Hey, we found some plastic. There's something here. That's great news. You know, I didn't think there would be that much stuff inside a ventilation shaft. But you know what, kid? If you're good at this, you're good at this. So far, we've determined he's great at crawling through doggy doors, he's good at crawling through vents, and he's really, really good at shimming a car door open and breaking open a front door with a crowbar. I think the kid has a fantastic criminal future in front of him. I think he's going to be somebody. You know, I think he's really going to be somebody. Mom, I found something. There we go. Is his stress level getting worse, though? Nothing there. What's the red spots? Do the red spots do anything? I definitely need more wood, so that's good. I gotta fix all my weapons when I get out of here. Okay, a bunch of bullet casing. That's kind of weird to find inside of a vent, but it's America. Fair enough. All right, I'm gonna pull him out. I think we've gotten everything that we can get out of there. We also got some... Oh, the backpack's full. Oh, we're full up right now. What's in the locker? Is there anything in there? I'll open that up later. We're leaving behind like little drips and drabs of loot, and I don't like leaving behind my little drips and drabs of loot, but I think it's time for us to head home. It's 7:30. It's going to take us a little bit to get back to the house. I'll show you the survival crafting aspects of the game, which I think are actually one of the strengths of the game. The survival crafting in this game is a lot of fun, and it's designed well. I've been having a good time with it. There's a variety of benches and upgrades and things that you can do in order to make your... Hey, 852 is the safe combination. All right, we'll come back for it. My character had aphasia yesterday, so I wasn't able to read all the notes. Every single day, we'll talk about it when we get back home. This is the world map right here. As I was saying, every single day you've got to pick a symptom of the disease, the zombie virus that you've got to live with, and they come and go. Every single day you get a different. Yesterday was mine, was I became illiterate and I wasn't able to read or pick up letters. But this is the world map. This is new. I don't remember this being a thing the last time I played. Maybe I'm just crazy, but this is the new map right here. There are loads and loads of places to uncover. It costs you gas and durability off your vehicle to get there. So far in the 3 or 4 hours that I've played, I've gone to the national park, I've gone to the farm, I've gone downtown, I've gone to the supermarket, and these are randomized right here. You never know what you're going to get with these, but I think these are little procedural zones that just have a little bit of loot in them. I've done 1 or 2 of them, and they've had different storyline events and stuff on them. So I think they're just randomized events with a little procedural zone with stuff you can pick up. Let's head back to the house real fast, but the map has expanded a lot since the last time I played the game, and the order of how you go through the game has changed as well. This is our home. This is my recycling bench over here. This is the place where I get the ability to fix and also recycle items that I find out in the field for resources, so that I'm not constantly having to like make new baseball bats just because they were partially broken. I'll probably scrap this guy right here because I already have one, and it looks like we have... It looks like the voltage on the block is not very stable. Oh, is the power going to go out finally? I was wondering when the power was going to go out. Oh, that's not good. We dropped that kind of like right in front of the... Huh. I can't put items in my storage chest because my inventory's full, but I can't pick up the thing on the ground. All right, we're just going to take one thing out real fast so I can clear that. Cody, grab the hex bar. All right, we now have a hex bar. Let me drop some stuff off inside of here, and I'll give you the grand tour of other things that are inside my base, too. As of right now, I'd say our food supply is pretty good inside the fridge. You've also got cooking benches, things like that. You can cook up meals real quick if you wanted to. I would suggest avoiding using anything that is... So, like, these cans right here are really precious. I would not get rid of them if I could help it, if I was you anyways. We'll go ahead and cook up 2 meals right there. And we'll get that all rocked out. Every time you do any activity in this game, you'll have an opportunity to call over Cody and show him how to do it. After he does things enough times, I'll show you what Cody's progression looks like. So he's got this little window right here where he learns different little activities and skills, basically. So he's divided into 3 different categories with roughly 20 skills in each category. So, for example, there's crafting. That's exactly what it sounds like. We can automate crafting and make Cody do it, basically, so that we can work on other stuff to save time. There's survival tasks like teaching him how to break down a car or teaching him how to harvest herbs, things of that nature. There's also combat training over here where he's got to learn to fight and go up against enemies. I haven't worked on it too much because I got to destroy a target in the backyard a whole bunch of times, and then I kind of got caught up in the treadmill for survival. And so I completely and totally forgot about the fact that I was supposed to be, like, breaking a bunch of stuff with his slingshot, and then having him hunt a bunch of birds with his slingshot, and other little things like, it's minutia. You know what I mean? When you're on the verge of starving to death and you're constantly looking for new supplies, it's easy to forget about things, but, like, I'm gonna get on it at some point. You can leave Cody at home, and in fact, leaving him at home is vital. It's the only way that he learns in some cases. Like, some of his skills require him to be at home alone by himself for 6 hours, or to cower in fear for 4 hours. So you may see me callously leave my child behind at some point today, and just leave him crying and screaming in a corner somewhere, because he gots to learn, all right? It's cold, and it's nasty, and it's vicious, and it's awful out there, and ain't nobody coming to help. So you just got to do it yourself if you want to get it done. That's called life, little man. That's what that's called right there. Sometimes you got to man up. All right, let's go ahead, and I got to med kit myself here because I didn't realize how low my health was. Let's go ahead and we'll eat right there. And then we'll give that to Cody. Perfect. He's probably going to get thirsty soon. The lights are flickering. That kind of sucks. I'm going to give my kid an energy drink right before bedtime because I'm a sterling parent who makes really, really good decisions. And then from there, I think we're actually kind of done here, aside from storing up like a few more things. I got like some crackers. I'll probably eat them myself just to get them out of my inventory. But our food supply is kind of topped off at the moment with the power going off in the next 24 hours or so. It may get a little bit bad. We'll figure it out. There are quests. There are people around that you can interact with, like you saw at the supermarket. Some of the storylines are quite touching and heartbreaking. I was feeding a little girl next door, for example. Every single day I was sacrificing some of my food to keep her alive. And then one day the windows were all busted out and there was a bunch of bloody drag marks out of the front door. And she was just, like, gone. There's kind of like these little world storytelling things that if you pay attention, you'll notice, and you'll just kind of be like, oh. And it's kind of a bummer. We've got lacerations. So we've got to pick what our debuff is for the day because of our zombie virus. So we can do parched. That lowers my max thirst. The cool thing is the zombie virus also gives you bonuses. You get a little bit stronger, too. So they're kind of leaning in that Mila Jovovich sort of T-virus Resident Evil direction, where being slightly infected also makes you kind of a badass. Let's see here. So we have mild for the rest of the duration, or I can do a gastric ulcer, which means that the duration of my symptoms are lowered by 20%, but if we go down to starving, we lose our health. I don't really go down to starving, so I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be all right there. Our next goal that we need to tackle right now, there's some crafting tasks that I need to do here around the base, and I wanted to kind of take a look. So if we wanted to upgrade this guy, I need more sheets of glass. I don't know if I'm quite set up for sheets of glass yet. I can do one more sheet of glass. That's about what I have. So there we go. We'll do the sheet of glass. Oh, apparently he has unallocated points of some kind. Is it that right there? Is it that comprehension thing? Ah, which of the following advanced skills would you like? We can shoot and stagger enemies. He can be extra quiet. Or he can have sneaky hands. Let's make him extra quiet. Cool. So we've pulled that on out. There's also apparently bonus skills that he gets along the way, and I've just been sitting here not noticing. I clicked on, it seemed like it would be clickable. So when it wasn't clickable, I figured there would be some storyline thing that would unlock stuff over here. Then I would just pick which one I wanted without seeing the G button that I have to push down there. Developers, make this clickable right here. It's a big shiny implement of your UI. It draws the player's eye. So players like me are naturally going to think we can click that, and then when we can't, we're going to be like, wait a minute. Like, I know I have reading comprehension issues. All right? I know. Okay? I know I didn't see the thing down here, but still make that clickable. All right. So I need more glass in order to upgrade that bad boy over there. The power's still on. Once the power goes out, we're definitely going to have to start using the generator, which is in the backyard. I haven't used the generator yet. but I do have a lot of gasoline saved up. Like, a lot of gasoline. I've been siphoning every single car because, in addition to teaching my child how to be a good burglar, I've also been teaching him how to siphon gas. That's one of my youngest memories in my life, was my dad chasing a guy down the street with a brick because he caught him siphoning gas out of his truck. My dad's work truck was parked in the driveway. We lived in a bad neighborhood. And my dad comes out, and this guy goes and spits a bunch of gas all over the side of the car and takes off running. And then I have my memory of my dad just flying down the driveway with a brick in his hand that he kept by the front door. You son of a bitch. Oh, I totally forgot about that till right now. What a great story about family. Anyways, I gotta make some more charcoal and stuff. There's like little crafting tasks I need to get done. I don't know if maps that you've already cleared get new events or anything on them, like if they're worth checking again. I do know a location that I need to go to, though, that I found something. I don't particularly have that many quests or anything right now. I would like to make a fishing rod, actually. There is a fishing minigame in this, and I haven't got to play it yet. Maybe I'll make a fishing rod. Yeah, let's go on a fishing trip in the woods. That sounds like fun. And then I've only got the one bait, so hopefully we catch something. There we go. All right, he learned how to do that. Let's go to the woods over here. It's going to be 6 hours to get over there. Man. All right. 6 hours it is. Off we go to the woods. There are indoor, there are outdoor locations. There's also nested locations, which I like a lot in this game. What I mean by nested locations is that there's locations inside of locations. So when you go to a supermarket, there's not just a supermarket. There's a bunch of surrounding areas and other stuff that you can interact with, which I find really cool. This guy right here allows you to make highly efficient food. If you drive on out here, you can make really good food with forageables that you can just find in the woods. That's pretty much it. Cody, you want to try fishing? Oh, I guess, can I not? Do I just take out, here, I bet I have to take the rod out. Do I have to take the rod out? Is that what it is? Oh no, how do I interact with this? Huh, there's only Cody try fishing. There's no me try fishing. Weird. How strange. Alright, well I guess I came all the way out here to not fundamentally understand exactly, wait, he has another unallocated skill point? What are you talking about? I don't think he does. Oh, he's got them in different categories. Gotcha. He's got like 2 for survival. What you want? He can loot extra greens while gathering. That's good. My grandmama was talking about that the other day. She was talking about going out harvesting creases. She was talking about making crease salad. My grandmama grew up in the North Georgia Appalachians with no shoes, no nothing. After plenty of plants are dry, okay, there's a chance it'll be watered. A chance to double catch fish. Let's do that. That sounds good. That sounds really awesome. And then crafting-wise, what's he got over here? I like that animation right there, too. Reinforce. Oh, really? He increases the durability of an item every time he repairs it. Cool. Yeah, do that. That's actually pretty rad. If we can get that up to like level 4 or 5, he can make some pretty good stuff. I'm constantly repairing things. I still don't know how to get him to go fishing. I'm guessing maybe it's storyline locked or something. Hard to say. So that bridge is out right there, and I need 2 boards for it to get across. Is there anything else going on this side? There's a fence over here. Come on, kid. He's got a gun. Come on. Yep, zombie has a gun. We don't want to be near the zombie with a gun. I do sometimes wish I could give him orders to, like, stay in a spot and wait for me. Right, kid. I was going to say, he's got a gat. Oh, there's a big one over there, too. Okay. Did he go back? Where's he at? I'm trying to load up this hit right here without getting shot. Run, kid! Okay. These gun guys right here, man, they're always like a big liability. Exactly. See, both me and my child have now been shot. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And the real crime here is he doesn't drop the gun when he dies. It's literally in his hand right there, and he doesn't drop it. He did drop some bullets, though, so good job, Cody. But he only dropped bullets because Cody made a dice roll because he has a skill that I gave him that makes him randomly find loot on enemies. And so we would not have gotten anything there if I had not taken that. Gates are now open. I think there's a big dog over here, too. Oh, cool. You found some more stuff? What'd you find? Metal parts. Those are rare. We definitely need those. That's good. Metal parts are very, very helpful. All right, so we're going to have to come back here. We're going to have to fix the bridge if we want to go any further. I'm going to try to grab these greens over here real fast, though. Girl, you don't want none of this. You don't want none? Walk yourself away. What else we got going on over here? But the environments are pretty diverse in this game. I've really liked the map design, and I've really liked the storyline design. Those are the things that I think the game does exceptionally well. This is a morose game, and in fact, that's what I would compare it to, is this War of Mine. The combat was no good in this War of Mine either. I remember the combat being just a thing that I hated interacting with in this War of Mine. In this game, the combat is serviceable. It's not great, but it's fine. But the overall theme and atmosphere and like constant desperation and never having enough of anything is a big component of this. Oh no! Get off me! Get off me, fool! Oh, he tried to kick him. Do you see that? That's what I'm talking about, little gangster. Get in there, bro. Get him in the head. For some reason, in this game, in the rain, when you hit enemies, you deal less damage. It's not really explained. All right, I have no clue why enemies in this game take less damage in the rain. It's just a thing. You're just going to have to get used to it. I do need to grab some branches before we go back home. We are horrifically out of wood back at the house. I think that's the one material that I don't have. So if we can take a second here and knock this tree down, that'd be great. And I think Cody's like on his way to learning how to gather sticks too, if I remember correctly. I don't know how many more he has, but I know that I'm close. He's got to watch me gather from a tree 60 times before he gets the skill. And I know he's getting close. He's just not there yet. There we go. He just learned it. So now he can do it, and I can go down to this tree, and we can get double the wood. So there you go. Cody, get on that right there. I'll get right here. Yup, and look at all this wood we're going to be taking home. I think the game is great. I'll give you some collected closing thoughts, but I think the game is really rad. I like it a lot, and I think it's attacking the zombie apocalypse from a good direction. And I think the source material of this War of Mine is a really good place to operate out of, because that's one of my favorite games of all time. So I think from the top, the things that I think the game does really well all have to do with theme, atmosphere, map design, sound and sound tracking, general narrative, and graphical design. This is all done really, really well. The game is obviously, almost panderingly sometimes, trying to tug on your heartstrings. It really likes to capitalize on the fact that there's a child involved in the storyline. And if you're observant to the storyline design, you'll notice it doing it every now and again. But despite that, it still manages to where, like, I know the game is trying to do that to me, but it still works. And it does evoke a lot of the same feelings that I got from this War of Mine. And those feelings were the things that made that game one of my favorite games of all time. The characters are well designed. It's easy to empathize with An Ling's plight, even while making decisions like bashing a guy's brains out on the off chance he may hurt your kid, or just because you covet his rifle. The thing is, your child is watching and he's learning this entire time, so remember that. That guy that you mercilessly just offed to take his rifle, kid remembers that. It will affect who he becomes when he grows up. The storyline sequences and cutscenes, they've all been really entertaining so far. Some of them are metaphorical, some of them are nightmares, some of them are real interactions between players, but they've all been good and entertaining, although sometimes occasionally held back by translation issues. Nothing incredibly egregious. The entire game is legible, understandable, and for the most part, readable and well done. There are occasionally little things, though, that pop in, like your weapon's durability being called endurance. Just occasionally using, like, a slightly different word than an actual English speaker would use, I guess, for certain things. You'll figure it out. It's not going to interrupt your gameplay, but there you go. From there, the combat system, I think, is the game's most obvious weakness. It is a serviceable combat system, but it lacks any real skill cap. There's no dodges, there's no parries, there's no blocking the enemy or anything else like that, which means that a lot of the combat sort of boiled down to shuffling backwards while timing your heavy swings to perma-stun the enemy. I would have liked to have seen more sophistication here since the game is really combat heavy. It's fine, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Ann Ling's development, not just Cody's. It's not bad, but it's fine. It's there and it works. The game cuts a nice balance between haves and have-nots. I've been almost starving. I've been almost out of water. I've been almost out of firewood. I've been desperately scrambling for supplies from time to time, and the game does seem to enjoy keeping you just ahead of the curve when it comes to your survival. And that gets worse as the game goes along and you start to tap out locations. You're going to be relying on hunting a lot more. Things like the rain catchment, planter beds, fishing, hunting rabbits, that kind of stuff can really, really help, but you're going to need to make the best of every day. No wasting time. Bugs-wise, I had 2 crashes. There are some walls that I've found that you can hit zombies through in full cheese mode without taking any damage yourself, and I've been using that mercilessly from time to time to beat hard packs. I do very much wish that Cody had a wait here command where he could be like, sit here, stay right there while I deal with this zombie, because he likes to zip in and out of combat. There's occasionally logical annoyances to the game, like the enemy has a pistol in his hand but doesn't drop it when he dies, even though the pistol is obviously still in his hand in the death animation on the ground. It's probably for trade balance since pistols go for big money to traders, but still, I want the pistol. I want it. Either way, I'm really happy with the game, though. It has some flaws, but they're all massively outshone by its bright spots. And this is a fresh take on the zombie apocalypse that manages to create an entire game that is an escort quest, but doesn't shit the bed with that, which is actually kind of impressive, because I think escort quests are fairly reviled throughout all of video gaming history. Nobody likes them. And these developers somehow made a game that is one giant escort quest that still works and is fun. I've occasionally been annoyed by Cody and his AI, but mostly it's fine once you get used to how he paths behind you. It'll be okay. I like the game. I think it's cool. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today, up on the chopping block, we were messing around with the Undying for the last time in 1.0. Tomorrow to be something else. Give the game a good send-off, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, folks.